So now just observe how they present. I'm sorry, my hands are just a tad cold. I'll warm up with you in a second. But as you can see, she definitely favors to the right. Going underneath shoulders. This one I'm just doing that strawberry hold. So here, her arm's actually not bad, but you see a little bit more on the wrist. White baby. So I'm just doing the assessment first, going down to each shoulder. And again, you can see with the wrist, I can't, it's hard to. So see here where it's the same. See, just that tilt in the spine with the babies, she wants to do left, right, versus that counter. A little bit better going to the right, but you can really clearly see when I go to the left, see how she's trying to almost force her chest cavity to the right to stay with that balance. That's that bowl with the ball of water in it. So here you can see skin the pelvis. Right and then to the left now. Even looking at it this way. See, she wants to. Now she's moving back and forth, but again, you're not seeing the rotation as nicely as you'd like to, and she's so, I can do it from here. Look at her little toes just wrapped around my fingers. Now I'm going to get to work. And Holly, do you have any questions? Now you just see the grunting? Like we were talking with Julian yesterday? She's happy. Look at that. Look at that smile. Again, did you find the camera? Oh no, it's not turned around. No, it's okay. I'd rather have Bruce watch it. And Diane, you're more than welcome whenever you want to. But see, you can tell by just very little stimulus now how she's going over to the left side with the vision. It's amazing how that. Yeah, thank you. See how nice people are to me? Now this is what Diane's good at. She's good with all kids, but even Stuart, but she knows how to get the babies. Did you see right there how the eyes kicked in? And now she's coming back. My goodness. Oh, amazing. See how I'm just nicely countering just around her system. That's it, baby girl. Oh, no. Now, if you guys have any questions with the vision work while Diane's here.
How old is she?
1
month.
Yeah, she's about to be 2 months on the 17th.
2 months, yeah. And Diane, you're looking for tracking left and right?
I'm just looking for her to engage.
Engage,
That's all.
yeah.
Yeah, she's young.
How much does she weigh? She's got to be 7 pounds. How much does she weigh when she was born? Oh, she's really good.
Is she born early?
Yeah.
She's beautiful.
So she was how early and how old is she?
She's about to be 2 months. And she was born about 2 months early. Yeah. 2 months early, yeah. She's born 2 months early.
So this was just about to be her birthday.
Yeah. So I wouldn't expect much visually.
So she's doing good visually.
Yeah, and that's why I switched it over to the black and white. That's a little bit more engaging for her.
Except you have to be careful with black and white. Black and white is going to make them want to look, so you don't want to use it for long periods of time.
Especially larger things of black and white. It really does just snap their eyes right onto it. They can't get off of it. And you can imagine if it was your eyes, how you would feel.
How long was she in the ICU? Yeah, until about 50 weeks ago.
What?
We can't hear what you guys are saying.
Oh, I asked how long she was in the ICU, and she said she came out a couple weeks ago.
So how long is the black and white, the colors that they're attracted to?
Until they get to more complex things, but it will attract them even like at a year and sometimes longer than that.
Can you guys see though the vision change? How fast it's going? Can you see? Yeah, see that? It's like, whoa. Yeah,
Yeah? It looks like she just woke up right now.
yeah, yeah. That's where Diane usually goes, Michelle just touched the magic button. Usually back of the diaphragm. When the diaphragm organizes, the vision kicks in.
Huh.
Is that when the grunting will also,
What?
the grunting will, like the grunting will subside
That's-
before that, right? Or about the
It all depends. That's not necessarily one and the same. But see how she's actually all of a sudden becoming social.
Yeah.
Wow.
Can she actually see this far?
She looked like she could see me.
It was, yeah, it did look like she was, but it seemed like she couldn't.
Well, she's 2 months old, so.
I was going to say, I didn't think they were supposed to be able to see until about 3 months.
Oh, my goodness.
No,
No, much earlier than 3 months.
like anywhere about 3 weeks to, but it can be depending on the child. There are issues like delayed
Right.
maturation and all those kind of things, but you can tell, like the face changes. It's not just the eyes are looking at you, but it's like from this to, oh, you know?
She really looked like she could see me.
Yeah, I thought she did, and I thought, oh, that's a little too much distance. So.
Now, yeah, because she's getting the counterbalance in. If I was back here and take my hands off of her, she wouldn't see that because she's too busy keeping the legs stiff to prevent her fall.
Oh, you're just looking everywhere, aren't you?
But see, the more she's moving around, you see now the neck is extending. You can be up close too, Esther, it's your baby. Look at her, she just followed up for
She's
what
the
Diane.
sweetest ever.
Look at her watch, you sit down, see?
Yeah, she
She can see that.
Now, she might not know, though, that was mom. She saw the movement, you know what I mean? No, don't get me wrong, she knows it's mom when mom's around her, but as far as, like Stuart walking around the room, you know, Stuart was just pleasing to look at. It's not like she's like,
But at what stage, Diane, would you be expecting tracking?
Oh, I wouldn't even start that.
Couple of
I'm
months
just
or
looking for
like that?
attending.
Okay.
Yeah.
and as always, too, and Diane can correct, but the humans are much more enjoyable at this stage than any toy.
Then what?
Any toy, that she'd
Oh,
rather be
yeah.
looking at faces anyway.
Yeah.
What about a mirror?
Or what?
A mirror, like would that be too much?
Yeah, I mean, she's not really ready for that yet. She's just kind of ready for the beginnings, especially her mom's face. That's her number one draw.
Have you? It's all about him. Normally, she's like in love with himself.
Have you noticed that she is looking at you like when you're feeding her?
She does. She gets a little more
She's
interested.
actually doing really well, isn't she?
Before she was
She
just
kicked
kinda
in though
like
nicely.
Yeah.
drift off.
She's doing more than I would have expected visually.
That's it.
She was really fast with me.
Does that feel good?
Almost 45.
What?
Almost a 45-minute drive from our house here.
Oh.
She's asking
People in Arizona think that's far.
It's far. That's far for us.
Michelle, she's looking to her right. You're keeping her counted to the left, are you?
Yeah.
No.
If you notice too,
Yeah.
her legs are kicking more and
Yeah.
doing all those kind of things. I'm about to start doing the tie.
Close closer than
And the neck's actually starting to get longer now. If you measured her before or after this lesson, it'll look like she actually just grew.
Yeah.
She's talking with Michelle.
She's a sweet girl.
But right now, I think it's because most of the excitement's over here versus,
We're dull over here.
yeah.
We're very excited.
All the babies seem to like you two and, you know. I'm just a funny looking one.
Oh my
Very rare that you see me with this done up.
goodness.
It's right there on the front page.
It's okay. Yeah, it's okay.
And the splaying of the toes would be very typical at this point.
Oh, yeah, they're just, I call this, and I probably should call it something different, these infantile spasms are very important. She needs to feel this thrust and what it's like to go. They will mature out. Unfortunately, most people look at infantile spasms as seizures, they come around one, but I think it's just a system that didn't mature out. And
You're okay.
you're more than welcome to.
I was just curious, stage-wise, like what she should be, yeah.
It's good. There's your
I know
mommy.
it's
There's
very
mommy.
close. It's very typical, but I was just.
She knows, doesn't she?
Right.
Yeah, she knows.
But I don't know if you see the difference in the rib cage now, they're not as bowed out. I'll switch sides in a second because I'd like to get at that head and neck.
You see, I can't yet bring her over. Typically, you know, when they get just a little bit older, I can bring her over a little bit to help Michelle, but I can't.
But you also saw during the assessment that she was quite wrenched in the neck. She's not as wrenched anymore, but it's not something that her spine's used to offering her. That's why you can't just rely on a vision therapist to do stuff like that. So most vision therapists would come back and say, oh, well, she's not able to do work on the left. Well, it's not because of her eyes, it's now because of her head, but to coordinate all of that, that's where the beauty comes in. Now this, I really haven't done with any of the babies before, but it's, again, the strawberry hold, but just off of that, you can either visualize it as a pelvic clock, but also just in the groin, the pubic area to alternate that counter is a really nice, I call it the diaper factor. Once kids aren't past diapers or just getting to, you just can't do it anymore, but there we go. So now I can go where she's starting to bear weight. That's it, onto the leg.
Hers kicked in again.
Come back off. And then come back in. There we go. That's the first time too I've seen the shoulders start to counter.
Yeah, both hands.
So hopefully she's really showing you too, gonna go the other way, when the system, not as far though, because her head's tilted to the right. When the system kicks in, how much other functions in a baby start to function more efficiently. That's it. See how I use my palm? See how I start using that to bring...
She seems so relaxed.
Why don't we switch so I can work the head? So instead of me flipping her around, please. Again, just respecting the baby. Now, if she had a head sensitivity issue, this is what's great. Go underneath the blanket. But I'm going to just see where she's at.
Does she always have her head to the right?
Yeah, usually she favors the right side a lot more. Usually because she's used to me sleeping with her now. So she'll try to follow me and she'll tilt her head up. So she'll try and look where I'm at.
But even that being said, that shouldn't still be why she's favoring it.
Is that your mommy? Is that your mommy? Yeah, what's your mommy? I know it. Yeah. Yeah. What's your mommy? She just got it. What is that? What is that? Does it wiggle? Huh? Does it wiggle?
Usually I say, well, you can say we were all this small, but I actually started out at 10 pounds, 6 ounces, so I bypass this.
My son was 4 pounds when he was born. I know, I'm trying to imagine. I can't believe he was that small.
But Solis must have been like 5 inches longer though. Did he come out?
He was 4 pounds, 3 ounces, and 17 inches. So he's longish. How do you know?
He has feet.
Oh, okay, that's not too much. Excellent.
He just has these spider legs now though from his dad.
We feel like she's really, really long.
Oh.
We feel like too, like. Fishy's the nickname, so. It's not funny.
There, now she's looking up.
Uh-oh. Getting sleepy. Already?
She's romantic. I think it's a Michelle magic touch. She always falls asleep. Cupcake always falls asleep to Michelle.
visualization, when anybody has problems breathing, then the swallow can compromise because they'll choose the breath over the swallow. So I'm working on the contractions from the torticollis kind of thing, and I'm also trying to even out the muscles on the tongue and stuff, so.
But the funniest thing, we could see through that when you could see her mouth.
Yeah, they look like little stingrays on the bottom of the ocean, you know.
Like a purposeful.
Yeah, you ever feed a stingray or something and they have that little mouth that comes out. It's okay. It's okay. Now I'm just trying to put her to sleep.
She's got quite a long grip.
I just have my arm over the eye, so she just doesn't have as much visual stimuli. The way I have my arm over her eyes, just to cut down on the visual stimuli. And I'm just working on the balance of the chest cavity. Uh-oh, she's so steward. He even has a great little voice in there too, but he does not sing. That too.
She got upset when she heard you didn't sing.
But you see in these soft moments, these nice little detailed work that you can do. But as you can see too, even though she's fighting sleep or whatever you want to call it, these little buggers, that's a lot of work. They don't stop. They're just moving and going and making noise. And
Feet are kicking, arms are swinging.
Hmm?
Feet are kicking, arms are swinging.
I'm just slowly just bringing her around, just make sure the lungs can function in all different directions. Sorry that I'm not talking too much, just as she's sort of going in and out of the siesta thing. But I don't know if you notice the difference between the lungs going over to the left and the noise they're making versus when she goes to the right. So is she looking to the right because that's what she feels more comfortable with, or is that better breathing for her? And for you and I, it wouldn't mean a big deal, but for this baby, but I just hang out long enough, gentle enough for her to go, I can't breathe over here. Hear the difference when the breathing starts to settle down and stop going off to the side. But even when I did, I don't remember whose lesson, where I put the elbow towards the back, you can see that see how I'm just going into the back this way? Very similar if I was holding the head, you know what I mean? And allowing that nice natural arch to happen. So now I'm going to go after this right arm because I don't want it to lag behind. Do you have any questions? Good?
Just observing everything.
Okay. She's putting up a good fight. She's down about here. Oh, that's... And wrap her up in the blanket, it's okay.
Did she get excited when she got her arm up over her?
No, if you notice, if you can go back, the breath goes. And she'll trying to get breath. And that's what startled her. And that, if you notice, there's a little ding. I think she's scratched herself like a little turkey. She nipped her with the fingernail.
Oh, nails grow so fast.
But can you see too, just as a mommy, you know, like what you can just hang out and chill? Any questions?
I have one, but I don't know if it's relevant to this, but I was wondering, since she was premature, is there a chance that the right lung is not developed as the left lung?
Is that, it's not even that it's not developed, but just has different movement patterns.
Okay.
So when, one of the things that I'm introducing, which I'm not going to touch here, is I found perpetual motion within the muscle cell with the thick and thin filaments with the myosins, but when you actually look at lung function, when you breathe, typically, the diaphragm actually rises as the chest cavity expands. So now let's say as a smoker, since you're sucking, among other things, what you're doing is the diaphragm now elongates down the backside and so the chest cavity goes long. So as an example, the reason I'm talking about smoking, but what I believe, not only with this perpetual motion that I'm doing, is but lung function. So as the lungs expand, right, what they're doing too now is they're pulling off of the heart cavity. And this allows, and it changes also too, the fluids, the sac around the heart, and it creates this kind of movement pattern around the system. So when the lungs are immature and stuff, that's where you get a lot of those, they haven't filled out, or the space cavity, you go to roll, and so the lungs will hit the inside of the chest cavity, and enough to startle, because it's an unusual feeling. So you'll see it when I bring a child, which I wouldn't do with this child because she's just, she's not ready for it. But to bring her into tummy time, one of the first things I look for is to have Diane there, hopefully with the vision or somebody there, so when they roll over, if the system's compromised, it doesn't have to happen with a typical system, but when the system's compromised anyway, they roll over for the first time, you want something that they can go, and kick that in. And when that also happens, you want the breathing to kick in because they're not used to the lungs there. That's why, different than the way you were trained, as an example, and I've been doing with the babies, I bring them over in sitting. I bring them over their system, not for the act of sitting, but for them to feel what it's like for the chest to lungs to go against the chest cavity in that position and back. Because the longer you miss those milestones of just the sensations, it becomes harder later, and that's where you see the contractions. Esther, I'm coughing because probably needing water, not from cough.
What you need, Zach?
Can I get you one?
Holly to the rescue. It's my worst habit. I'll go on and on. I have been drinking juice, but I haven't drank water. That's it.
So it seems like a rocking chair with kind of, the mom's got her hands and the baby's going up and down against the mom and rocking like it would create a very similar rhythm for the body and type of movement perhaps.
And that's where the rhythmic movement therapy came in, more to those kind of emotional kind of movements. But just like there's strings in between my fingers, you can see it really here quite nicely. My left hand is going through her system, talking to the right. So it almost creates like a push me, pull me. But not ever having taken a deep breath before, she's not used to, let's say, that strength behind breathing into my hands. I have to go a little bit faster right now because babies of this size do have a quicker breath. And I just right now want her to feel that.
So you're going in the rhythm of her breathing?
Yeah, well, not necessarily in the rhythm of breathing, but at least as she's starting to feel that lung to go out to the chest cavity. A lot of times in the NICU too, this becomes very heavy, and so it's harder because breathing is not a muscle-based function. It should be a systematic, because that's where the diaphragm just billows, works in a vacuum. I get it. I can take a deep breath, but that's the problem. These little puppies, they go to sleep. The breathing goes because they just don't have the strength of the system to exhale in that sense. So by offering that sensation of the back breathing, because again, too, in this position, look at how I can breathe through my back if I wanted to, kind of thing. You'll see that natural with babies. We lose this by, too much computer time or whatever. So here I'm kind of walking my hand, so I'm creating more of a, that's it, circle into the chest cavity. So see, she breathes down below her belly, comes around the chest cavity back in. So making actually these nice little circles into her chest cavity. When I let go of her, I'll show you on Madison, I just don't want to lose my touch with her. But you should be able to see this nice. Do you have any other concerns right now that I might not be addressing? Are we good so far?
No, we're good. Just the breathing, the main issue.
It's not, well, yes and no. Now. Now we're really gonna blow.
All that extra oxygen.
But honestly, probably for her, it's probably be good for now. Even though she's sleeping, you know what I mean? It's a brand new system, first time getting felt up. Cute, huh? Can I keep her?
Can you smile? You look like Graham.
Next best thing, she could bring him back often.
She's so sweet.
I think she really likes Michelle.
Any questions? No?
I actually have one. So, if you notice that breathing is bad, or, so you always start on the chest?
It's not that I always start there, but breathing, balance, and heart function should be subconscious life forces. You do not stand right now or sit here wondering if your heart's beating. It's being taken care of by your subconscious. When the system brings those into your conscious mind, learning stops. I cannot worry about my breathing and learn Russian at the same time. You know what I mean? It's just inefficient. I should not worry about if my heart's beating. So, to take those systems and put them back, that she should not, in a sense, be learning that I can't roll to the left because my breath goes. Let's say, as an example. She's not going to be able to tell me that, but her system, she might make more noise, might be more of that, whatever. And that's where I have to go in. So that would be my priority, was as those three, because, again, if she's worried about breathing, she's not going to learn from me, in a sense. So, but I can tell by my touch, am I getting a rattle in the chest? Am I getting an aspiration going on? Am I getting, all sorts of different things. When kids need G-tubes, like your son, and it needed to happen, but you didn't know about it and stuff. So those things need to be addressed. And then when sometimes it's just me, sometimes they need other interventions or combinations of such, but normally if I have a body part and a baby to work after, I'll go after that pelvis, because I want to synchronize that head with the pelvis, the head with the pelvis. But if I go like this and all of a sudden the child's going, it's going to wreck that movement. So the breathing goes first. Babies are going to make noise, but it shouldn't be that much around breathing. Like this, all this. This is natural stuff, though.
Michelle?
Joy.
How did you find Joy?
Joy is my sister, and my sister works for her.
Very cool.
And then Joy brought her to me, so she was interning with me. She called in sick one day.
The only day I called in sick.
Oh, you were intern?
I was
She's
interning.
literally giving birth going, but I owe some stuff to Michelle, I've got on my heart.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow, that's good.
She's amazing.
She's cool. She's doing so well.
She's doing really, really well.
Yeah.
Putting on some weight. I feed her a lot. She loves like the breastfeeding, so
Yeah, good.
it's every hour. If I'm pumping, then she'll eat her. She's eating about 120 now. She's like starving. Yeah, she's starving.
Whoa, that's a lot. And she's eating
Very well.
like breastfeed.
Does she latch on when
Huh?
she latches on when you get?
At first she
I guess that's
wasn't.
what I
We were feeding through tubes and stuff. She wouldn't latch on. But then afterwards she started getting really, really well at it. It's trouble. Like she has trouble eating. That's the problem. Like she'll eat it, but she inhales really, really badly, so she doesn't know whether to eat or to breathe.
Yes, yeah,
That's the
yeah.
thing.
And she'll choose breathing.
Yeah.
No.
She'll push.
Kind of important.
She'll push me out, and then
Yeah.
she'll like breathe. Take her maybe like almost a minute to get back into the swing of things.
So this may help a lot.
Yeah, we're still all here, but I'll give you to Mommy. You can wake up and see her face, that's better than us.